Father God, once again, we thank you for giving us love, for giving us life, and for giving us Kendra. For 22 years, we've come and try to do the things that you need us to do. Shine your love across the world. Right now, at least across our borough, we are intentionally, on purpose, trying to serve you, God. And we just want to thank you for serving us with the knowledge and the understanding of what it could be. Happy anniversary to Kendra. 22 years, nothing but service.
Amen. Crossover TV here, yours truly, Kendra. You and me. Me, 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 me.
Yo, with Drill. We want to say a big shout out and happy 22nd anniversary to Crossover TV with Kendra.
Yes, sir.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course I have multiple degrees.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course I always keep it clean.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course I run the show.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course I'm the first Black woman to hold my seat.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course I'm a Delta.
Yes, I'm Black Girl Magic. And of course I keep it real.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course I'm from Staten Island.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course. I'm the first female Bronx Borough president. BX.
I'm Black Girl Magic. Of course we're supreme, magnificent, superior queens who just happen to rule the world.
All right, we are so in this building. I tell you, it's a blessing. I want to thank DJ Hollywood, first of all, for making that drop for me. And you all know what DJ Hollywood is going through. I visited him 2 weeks ago. He comes to you live on Facebook. You can check out his Facebook page. And I just want to say, we'll put it up at the end, but just say something. Give him a heart. Give him a like when he's on his turntables. And we love you, DJ Hollywood. I want to thank Drew Hill for making me that drop. And we got some more coming. I spoke to the Force MDs and so many more. These drops will roll in. And, you know, we're celebrating 22 years all year. All right, so I want to do this, something very special in this building. This is the third time, but for me as Bronx Borough president, right? This is the first time in studio, Crossover TV Live, with Kendra, and I want to welcome the Bronx Borough president, the 14th Bronx Borough president, Vanessa L. Gibson, and today it's called Let's Talk Vanessa.
Yes.
I'm loving this. Let's give her a round. You know, if you guys are at home, you know, like one day in session, how do they do it? Like to clap? What's the way they do the clap? In session, when they're in session? And,
They just stand up or they clap. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm just going to clap for you. Can I salute? Can I give you a salute?
Thank
I want to salute you.
I appreciate it.
And I just want to say the first Bronx Borough president, black, African, Caribbean, Bronx Borough president. You know, we're careful with the terms now. But it's just a blessing to have you in the building once again.
Thank you.
And I want her to say a few words. Say hi.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crossover TV with Kendra. Congratulations on 22 years of being a voice for the people, of bringing it live to our viewers, talking about issues that matter, relevant, current events, and really bringing credible messengers, partners on this show. Shout out to DJ Hollywood. We are praying for you, my friend. May God bless you and keep you in his mercy and grace. You have been an incredible part of the evolution of hip-hop, and we salute you for everything you've done. We love you, and may God keep blessing you.
Thank you so much.
And it's Black History Month. So happy Black
so we're right on time, right?
Yes, right on time.
So, you know, my special guest for Black History Month, and I think that we don't even need a month because so many of us are doing some amazing things, phenomenal things. So I just want to do this. I want you to just talk a little bit about growing up, Vanessa. Like, I get to call her Vanessa. I've been like, you know, we've been at events, and I'm like, one day I was like, I lost my mind. I'm like, Vanessa. So she's like, she probably like, what? So I love her so much, and I just want to tell you thank you once again for
Thank
coming.
you.
And I'm not nervous, but I'm not saying Vanessa, like Vanessa. So now I get to say Vanessa. So can I call you Vanessa today?
Yes. it's
Okay,
fine.
so I'm calling you Vanessa. So Vanessa, so what does it feel like, you know, being the first Bronx Borough president to be African Caribbean?
And female.
Yes, and a female.
It's an incredible honor. I wake up every day on purpose with the purpose, and I realize that I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, all of their hopes, all of their aspirations, and everything that they have truly sweat, blood, and tears for. It is important for this moment in this season in which we are seeing the elevation of Black women in all spaces. We say Black excellence for a reason, Black girls who rock. It's important for us to always see ourselves in these positions that we were never designed for. So being the first is a great blessing and honor, but I have to make sure that for this time, the reason and season I am here in office as number 14, that I will not be the last. I think about the next generation of young people and leaders that are stepping up. They have to see leadership that looks just like them. So to me, Black history is American history, and American history is Black history. You can't talk about contributions of Americans without recognizing Black Americans. And it's important that we realize that we stand on the shoulders of those that have come before us. So it is an incredible feeling. It's an incredible honor. It's a great responsibility, one that I don't take lightly. And I realize the voters of the Bronx have put their faith and trust in me to be their leader. And every day I strive to make a difference, to uplift the Bronx, to talk about the issues that matter, to make sure that we are very clear, dedicated, and committed to this work, very intentional about making the Bronx the best place to live, work, raise your family, and do business.
Well, we got a lot of work to do.
Yes, we do.
And I like your, as assembly, as council, city councilwoman, you've been on this program as not assembly 2 terms, everybody, but she's been on this program, city council, headline story with Tony, and I also looked at some of your what your goals are and what you ran your campaigns on, and it's important to you. Housing is important, and what's happening with housing? What is it's so difficult with housing right now. I know that's on your list of really making it better. So tell us a little bit about that.
I believe affordable housing is a fundamental right and should be afforded to all New Yorkers and Bronx families. There are too many families living in temporary housing with a full-time job and children who are underage, under 18. It's important for us to always look at responsible development that brings affordable, permanent housing that is safe, that is quality, that allows families to live in a dignified space with the wraparound services and amenities, supportive housing as well, with social services on site to help support families that may have a substance abuse or an alcohol addiction or a drug addiction. They need support as well. Children need places to stay. This is about stability. We also need to make sure that developers come in with local jobs and hiring opportunities for our people, right? But the thousands of units of housing that we build every day is still not enough to meet the demand. We have a supply problem. We have to accelerate more housing that's supported by the federal government, the state and city government, whether it's HUD, it's HCR, or HPD, HDC, a lot of financing projects. I'm proud to say I've been a part of many projects in the Bronx as borough president. I've also funded and supported these projects with my own capital. I have done a rezoning back in 2018 along Jerome Avenue in CBs 4 and 5. I've done a lot of work, but it's still not enough. Every project that we support, there are 50 to 60,000 applications for 200 apartments. And so the frustration from New Yorkers is we put in our application on Housing Connect, we go in, we do all the information, and we never get called. And we've done it multiple times. So we really have to look at the acceleration of housing, housing for veterans and domestic violence survivors, and foster youth and LGBT youth, people with disabilities. Those are protected classes to me that we have to do more. Older adults as well. We have to make sure that housing is available to many of our families.
I hope you guys got a pen at home because this is not you know, Q&A meet, you know, how regular you're going to come to the borough on the 20th, correct? All right.
Yep.
So this is not that show. If you thought that this was going to be that show,
Oh,
it won't
the State
be.
of the Borough.
Yeah, the State of the Borough. It won't be that. It won't be that. So the one thing you said about housing, the only another issue we have is that the income is not enough. It says low income housing, but you just don't have enough income to meet the low income housing applications. So it makes it fewer and fewer. So like, I know that it's a blessing to be talking to you so we can work on some of the kinks. It's a broken system, right?
Right, of
And that's
course.
why people are stuck in shelter. They don't meet enough income to get out the shelter to
Right.
go to those housing developments that are built that says low income, because they're not meeting the income requirement, because if they get an SSI, they're getting only $7,000 a year and they're not meeting the requirement. You know, 7,000 is not enough, or
I agree.
12,000, or if they just get in PA, that's not enough to get out of a DV shelter. If you're just getting $181 or $250 a month, you're not meeting the income requirement. So those people are actually lost. And then at one time it was NYCHA, and just knowing this, because coming from DV, you know, and this is 15 years ago when Isaiah was small. You know, he's 19. You know, so it's not getting better, and you guys are working so hard. You guys are working so hard. You know, so I think we got to work out the kinks, some
Yes,
little
we do.
kinks, right?
Yes, we do. A lot of kinks.
Okay, so that's number one. So I want to say this. I want to thank you so much, because before we get to, we're going to talk Vanessa, but we might as well, since we started down this road, we might as well keep going. I just wanted to talk about health, because health is truly important, and I know you have that on is one of your big criteria
Yep.
for health. So I'll let you go for it.
So we live with some of the highest rates of asthma, heart disease, kidney disease, and obesity, all preventable diseases, and we can do something about it. We are very adamant and intentional about lifting up the Bronx and making sure that we can lead in everything good and not everything bad. We are number 62 out of all 62 counties in the state, as determined by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation when it comes to healthy outcomes. We have to realize health is wealth and wealth is health. And what you consume is important to your health, to your well-being. We have to do more to encourage people to exercise, to walk, to ride bikes, to be very active with physical activity. We are also looking at a lot of the work around diabetes awareness, because we have some of the highest rates of amputations. We are designated as Asthma Alley in the South Bronx because of the pollution and environmental injustice that we've faced. So when you talk about capping the Cross Bronx, dealing with climate change, environmental justice, sustainability, solar roof panels, yes, 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 we want all of that. We want to electrify our city's buses and look at more electric vehicles and EV charging stations so we can reduce our carbon footprint. We want to focus on farmers markets and green markets and fresh farm stands, food equity and food justice. We have to work with our bodegueros, our supermarkets, our grocery stores, and make sure that they're actually selling quality food. And we need to make sure we have healthy food, plant-based diet menus, right? Many of our restaurants are incorporating that. It's really important for us to look at this in a multi-layered fashion. Access to health care, mental health, wraparound services, trauma-informed care, food equity, food justice, stable housing, which is important, dealing with fentanyl and opioid and the overdose crisis we're facing in that part of our conversation, the drug treatment and harm reduction programs and the effectiveness of them. We have to make sure we do more. That's why we're building out a bridge clinic at Lincoln Hospital, $6 million to transform the 6th floor into an entire bridge clinic. We're supporting all of our health and hospitals, Jacoby, North Central, and Lincoln. We work with Gotham's. I mean, we do a lot, and we want to make sure that we keep doing that, because if we are to do this now and we're successful, we will build healthy families for generations to come.
Okay, I know who I'm voting for. All right, so that's it, everybody. I know exactly who I'm voting for. You know, on this platform, we can talk about this platform and say about diabetes and health. So we were actually in your office. You could give the breakdown. I don't have to.
Sure. So Chris Norwood has been a longtime champion of focusing on diabetes awareness and prevention and education. And we shared information about what our office is doing around that, we are building out a diabetes task force, and Chris Norwood will absolutely be a part of that. We're looking at legislation in the city council. Shout out to the health chair, Councilmember Lynn Schulman of Queens, as well as the chair of hospitals and Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse, and the Committee on Addictions and Mental Health, which is a big deal, and that is Queens Councilmember Linda Lee. So we testified at the hearing last week on the opioid settlement fund because we want to make sure the Bronx gets its fair share. And there's a lot of opportunity. And Chris Norwood shared with us that the Bronx has some of the highest rates of amputations, and that can be preventable. A lot of our older men are being diagnosed. Look at what just happened with Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti
Yes.
passed away at 54 years old, and he was diabetic. And his diabetes caused strokes. It led to one stroke and led to another. And that can happen, right? And amputations can happen. So we want to do more. We have to do education, healthcare, outreach. We have to go into communities of color, into communities that don't speak English as a native language. We can never do enough to drive the conversation, to make this a period of priority where people are actually taking care of their health. And so Chris Norwood is definitely going to be a part of spearheading our diabetes task force.
I love you. I want to give you a pound. Okay, so we're going to do this, everybody. And she received a proclamation in your office, and I bear witness. You know, we have actually met with you from city council level,
Okay, yep.
and now we're finally able to do something. So now, thank you so much for partnering up with health people, and now there'll be a diabetes action summit. You might on the 25th.
Yes,
on
yes.
the 25th from 11 to 2, right in the rotunda
Yep,
at
Borough Hall.
At Borough Hall, and it's going to be hosted, you know, by the Bronx Borough President and staff, and also health people and staff, and all of the partners, all
Right.
of the people that we want to.
Right.
I can't tell you all the secrets yet, but we got some secrets
Okay,
for
all
you
right,
guys.
no
We got some
problem.
secrets because we want that room to look like what it looks like to do a DSMP training around the room, so people can understand week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, 5, and 6 when they really get it. And it's
Okay.
all about developing an action plan.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to do. And that's
right.
courtesy of the Bronx Borough President. And I salute you for that.
Thank you, thank
and
you.
now we're going to talk Vanessa.
Okay.
Now it's time to talk Vanessa.
Okay.
So I want to do this. I just want to first of all say that I give you my condolences. Your mom passed recently. And I know it was rough for you. I know it was rough for you. And you are people that don't know, she's somewhere like all the time, all day long. She's here. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know when you sleep, but I just want to say that you have the condolences of all of us up here. And if I had a picture of your mom, I would have put it up, and we can take a moment of silence for your mom.
Yeah,
Can we
she's
take
right there.
She's see, look.
Yeah, that's my mom holding the Bible.
Okay, so can we take
Yeah.
a moment of silence, guys? Okay, we're just gonna stop. We're not gonna talk. Is that okay? And then we're gonna come back. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So we're gonna take a moment of silence for your mom. Rest in peace, Mom. And you
Yes,
know, we
thank
know all
you.
about, you know, where we
Yeah,
go in the
look at
afterlife.
picture.
And it's funny, I picked this, and you know, you told me about this picture right now. So, you know, I picked this because I just wanted people to see you sworn in, and it's a blessing to see that your mom was there to witness that.
Yep.
So, you know, all things happen in their time.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me a
Yes.
little bit about your mom.
Yeah,
and-
my mom has always been there. Every time I was elected, my mom was with me on election night to hear the results. When I gave my acceptance speech, when I got elected June 2nd, 2009 to the State Assembly, she was staying with me in the Bronx because she lived in Brooklyn at the time, and drove with me to Albany for my swearing in. And when I got elected to the city council, she held my Bible. When I ran for re-election in 2017, she also held my Bible. And then when I ran in 2021 for Bronx Borough President, that was my official inauguration in March of 2022. My mom has always been there. She's been a guiding force in my life. A single mom raising my brother and myself. I am the oldest and her firstborn. She has and always was my everything. I am who I am because of my mom. She sacrificed a lot so that my brother and I could be well taken care of. We didn't have all the designer clothes. We didn't have everything, but my mom was no joke. There is nothing like black mothers. Yes,
You got that right.
I was that one and had to be in the house before, the sun went down. And if I didn't, my mom would come outside and embarrass me. So I knew that I had to get my behind and get my brother and go inside because I didn't want my mom to embarrass me. And yes, if I acted up at school, she would be that crazy black woman that would show up at school. And so now, while I'm not a biological mom, but I have children in my family, and I'm the crazy aunt that will show up too, and they know it. And I wish, again, for many of our families, they had that type of mother, because that mother gives you discipline, discipline. And, my mom had me at 27. She had my brother at 30. So she technically wasn't a young mom, but she wasn't an older mom. And she had ended up raising her siblings because her mom always worked. And so she knew the importance of working full time, and she started working right out of college, and always trying to give us time for, her kids. So she was that one. Oh, I miss her. She was that black mom where my two girlfriends, who are still my friends now, always came over, and my mom made breakfast, she made lunch, she made dinner, we had barbecues, we used to play in the backyard. I mean, everything we did was always in the house. We didn't have to want for anything. And my brother's two friends, they would come over, and they were just fixtures in our house. Wow. When we had parties, we had get-togethers, we had barbecues, we had everything. And my mom always cooked, always. And her cooking was the best. So everyone would come over usually because they wanted some of my mom's cooking. And I miss those days. Like, it's just different now. It's different. Right. It's different. And I always say, all the memories I have, keep her memory alive. And not for me, but for her grandchildren. My 1-year-old nephew, my 10-year-old niece, and my 18-year-old nephew. They didn't get to enjoy their grandmother as long as I enjoyed my mom. And so I'm not selfish. A part of me is different. I will never be the same ever again. To lose a mother is to lose a part of you. Right. And everyone I talk to, all my friends that have lost their mom, say the same thing. And it is never easy. You just learn to live with it. I've already celebrated her birthday. I've celebrated Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's without her.
Was it hard? Was it hard?
It was absolutely hard. Yes.
Remember I saw you at the school when we was at the school, and I told you, I think I texted you, and I said, I didn't want to say this to you when I texted you around the holiday to say happy holiday, but I know when my mother passed, me and my sister were cooking. We never cooked a turkey before. And so we were cooking and crying, because my mom always made the turkey. Yeah. So that's why I knew what you were feeling. And, I'm sure everybody was reaching out saying happy holiday. But how do you say, I feel you, I know what this really is. So we don't want to. Oh, yeah. And so then my sister went right after. So it's like. Yeah, it's tough. So that's the hard part of it. But, the thing is that your mom was there for those important moments.
Yes, she was.
She saw you rise. She saw you rise. And I'm so happy about that for you. And I know that your mom had some issues in health. Yeah. So you want to talk about a little bit, so you could say where that comes from even more for you that push forward.
Sure. Okay. I think like many black people and Latino people, people of color, we suffer from hereditary diseases. So my mom, like many, had kidney failure. She was diagnosed with stage 5 renal failure, which means her kidneys were like completely shutting down. Wow. And prior to that, 2 years before, they were telling her that her kidneys were not good, and so they gave her a ton of medicine to take every day to build up strength in her kidneys. Your kidneys are so important, and God knows I've learned as well, right? And her kidneys at this point just were not where they needed to be, and she required hospitalization. And as you know, when you're in a hospital, so many things happen. She had infections, a virus, and pneumonia, and then they didn't think she would breathe on her own, so they put her on a breathing machine. And she was on that for over a month. And unfortunately, I still can't understand it today. When they finally took her off the breathing tube, and she was taking dialysis. She had a seizure on her first dialysis treatment, and that caused them to heavily sedate her and give her anti-seizure medicine so it didn't happen again, and that pretty much like took her out. She was heavily sedated. It took her almost 2 weeks just to wake up and open her eyes, and then when she did that, she stopped talking. She never spoke another word again. And so a combination of the medicine, being sedated, the breathing machine, being in ICU, I mean, it was complicated. I have pictures of everything, and I look back on the way my mom looked, and it was definitely like not the mom I knew. And then it got better, then it got worse, it got better, it got worse until, I feel God said that he needed to take her home because her suffering would end.
Yes.
And one thing I have to accept is when God sees his children suffering, he will always call you home. And so that's why I am at peace, because that was not the mom right here, the mom that held the Bible, the mom that cooked for me, that always was my nurse, my driver. Anything I needed, my mom was there. That's what I remember, and not the last 8 months of her life, which was just such pain and discomfort. And rightfully so, I didn't know because she couldn't talk. And so it was really hard to communicate. I learned about being a caretaker, and now I'm a part of the caretaker network because I did her healthcare proxy, I did a power of attorney, I did everything because I didn't know what would happen, and I wanted to make sure that I took care of her business affairs, her Social Security. And so what I do now is I do family planning seminars, and I work with surrogates court, I work with funeral homes, and I go to senior centers. I have it at Borough Hall, and I talk about living wills, estates, proxies. There are so many people that pass away in our borough and city and have estates, and no one can claim it because there's nothing documented.
You can't get into the house.
And
What's the
everyone
old,
fights.
the same story?
Yep.
We don't got the key, and we can't get in, and where does the property go?
That's right.
So I want to say, I've lived this life. My son has epilepsy, autism. When we did the Christmas event, Isaiah was in the hospital. Isaiah almost died during COVID. Isaiah was in the hospital, and Isaiah was in that hospital for months, and I stayed there. As a matter of fact, Councilman King at the time helped me advocate for him because nobody was helping him at the time. And as you know, you have to advocate for family in hospitals, and that's really what's missing. That's why I talk about that. This is Isaiah. Oh, here we go. So Isaiah is the reason. You see this? 17A is missing. So the 17A is something that I would like to get you to help us for the autism community with the 17A. It's kind of like our children are growing up, and now it's time for guardianship. Now we need help because they have to have that by the time they're 18. So we need help with that.
Okay.
And their agencies are always, AHRC is the only one that does it. So there's a couple of changes that we need to see happen so that our loved ones are not left in despair, and if they get sick, we can't make a decision for them.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of things that I see needing to change. I was my sister's healthcare proxy. I had her power of attorney, and she passed. My mother was on the same thing. My mother and my dad also had diabetes, and they also went through renal failure. My dad passed in a nursing home. We did the best until we couldn't do it anymore. And my mom passed away a few years ago, and she had a heart attack from diabetes. So, diabetes affects every organ. If people don't know this out there, we really want you to just get your checkup, and please know your numbers. I have my Dexcom in my bag. You got to know your numbers. So please know your numbers, everybody. See your doctors. If you're diabetic, know your numbers. We can't do it all, we can't do it all at the same time. Eat some fresh fruit, vegetables. Let's work on it one step at a time. Some people don't like water. Some people don't like to eat vegetables.
That's right.
So one thing at a time. What would you like to say? I think that was great that you spoke about your mom and us as the people, knowing that we have to have a will. We have to have things in place. Our estates have to be handled. You may not have much, but it might be a lot to someone you care about. And it may not be much, but we still need to make sure they can get it. So
That's right.
I just wanted to say, going into 2025, and I know there's a lot that you're trying to accomplish in 2025, and I expect to see you for the next term because you are everywhere doing everything. I've bumped into you all over the community. I bumped into you. We have some clips. This is one of your days right here. I was just here at Borough Hall Bronx Borough Hall.
Yeah. That was.
You want to tell them about it?
So that was National Solidarity Hijab Day, where we got together and we all wore hijabs to celebrate our Muslim women. It was started years ago, back in, I believe, 2003, by a Muslim woman from the Bangladeshi community. And, you know, hijab symbolized faith. This event symbolizes solidarity, unity, coming together as family, as sisters, as one. It was a wonderful event. We worked with Africana. We worked with the Commission on Human Rights. We had different providers that showed up. And it was just a really, really beautiful day to celebrate women, all women.
All women.
Mm-hmm.
I for the first time when I put on my hijab, I felt so different. I lost myself for a minute. I'm like, I feel different. Whoa, wait a minute, what's going on right now? And I just lost my identity for a moment. And sometimes that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized throughout the day, as I kept it on, you see, Noor putting it on for me. But as the day came along and I met with the women and I talked to the ladies and I heard you speak, and it felt normal. It felt okay.
Yeah.
It felt okay because I still have my personality. You know I have my personality. So I still have my personality, but it does feel different. And we do need to understand the feeling. And Nora explained it and the panel explained it. And it was a great day. That was a great day. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
So it was the first.
Yep.
The first for the
I think I had a hijab day last year, but it didn't get a lot of support and traction. But this one definitely did. So
this one was amazing. So I just want to clap for you again.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank
shout
you.
out to you. Shout out to the BP. And do we have anything else? What do we have for the BP right now? Oh, we're back.
Okay.
I know they got something else. The last thing. What do we got for the BP right now? What do we have for the BP right now?
Maybe she could say a few things to give us a plug for the 13th annual autism event.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Bronx Borough President Vanessa L. Gibson here at P186X in our beautiful borough of the Bronx. And this 13th annual event recognizes the importance of bringing community, children, and families together, supporting our children with special needs and reminding them that they are talented, filled with promise and potential, and they are our future and our next generation of leaders. No matter what, our children are destined for great success.
And be faithful, and it's one thing to show that as well, and she's definitely exemplified that for us, which is why you see me the way I am. And I would want to credit Borough President Gibson as well, because I started as an intern when she was in City Council, and I didn't even think she was going to recognize me when we were sitting at this appreciation breakfast, but there she was waving at me from the front of the room. And you know, she said something that stuck with me, is that you know, when you walk into a room and you don't see someone who looks like you, that's okay, because you can be that person for the next generation who'll see that you can and you can go on.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you so much.
You doing 10 times better than me. I ain't get none of that love. Thank you so much for coming on, BP. This is BP. One day we was at an event. I said, I done lost my mind. I was like, Vanessa. I said, I lost my mind. I love you so much. Give me a hug. Yeah. I lost my mind. There's a lot going on. We're doing a lot. And we know you so well, and we know all that you want to do. And we're so thankful that you're all over the place and you see all the issues that are going on. But we've been on fire today. And I just want, where's DJ CJ? DJ CJ? Don't take a picture of the borough president. I need something right quick. Can you do it for me? This girl is on fire. Put it on. Because I want the borough president to know that she's on fire. No matter what. Keep doing what you're doing.
We are so back. So I want to thank the Bronx Borough President. I'm supposed to be saying Vanessa right now, but I'm the Bronx Borough President. I don't care. I have to. It's a level of respect, and I just love her so much. I want to thank you for coming out, hosting, and the 14th last year, December, but also the keynote speaker for us, the Aquarius Boys Male Awareness Foundation, ICE's organization, Mickey Benson, and so many folks. There's so many of us. You said, well, how many? It's a lot of us that come together and we make it happen. So I just want to thank you so much for coming out and being a keynote speaker. And you also presented a lot of awards that day. I want our parents and children to be recognized because this is no joke. You know, that boy is on fire. That girl is on fire. Because, you know, we get up and we get our kids. Everything is instructional for them. And so we're a little bit different. You know, we can say our kids are scholars. Our kids are amazing. And they are on fire every day. When we get them to where they got to be, what they got to do, brushing your teeth, getting out the house, you on fire. That is amazing for some of our kids. Some of our kids are just starting to talk. So services are important. So I'm on the grind. I'm just on the grind. And I thank you. I thank you for coming out and being on the grind with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting autism. And your office, I just had a meeting with David. You might, we want to do some policy changes for the differently able, and we connected with the borough president's office. Had my first meeting, and I'm super excited. You made it happen. And I thank you so much, so we can get some policy changes to happen in 2025, 26, hopefully, because it's needed yesterday. And I thank you. Wait, hold on. I salute you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I just want to say, in wrapping up, I don't know, do we have some more clips? We're going to have more clips. Even when she leaves, we're still going to have clips for days. So we're still going to have some clips for you, because we just have we timelined your work between City Council and Bronx BP, and that's gonna air with this episode. Good. Everybody. Oh, excellent. See, this is the case we were talking about, and it was such a horrific, as we talked about on the break, horrific case. And you joined us for domestic violence to talk about this case. And thank you so much for joining us. And I appreciate you so much for that. So this is not her first time up to Crossover TV. Solving solutions in our community and fighting for domestic violence. And coming to your event the other day, I was able to talk to Safe Horizon. We still have some little glitches going on for domestic violence that we can make some changes, and we just have to come together and meet and figure out what these issues are and how we can change them. Now, we already know what some of them are. We need, if you're going to run and go from domestic violence to leave that partner, you really need a secure place, a permanent housing.
Yep,
and that is one of the biggest problems that we have. I've brought it with people that have broken arms, and they went back to their abusers, or they went home to steal food. This was years ago.
Wow.
And that's why I love the campaign that you had for making sure that their food insecurities do not happen. And you worked on that, so hard, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, because these are the things that we need in our community. So those things that you listed on your platform, if you ever got a card from the Bronx Borough President, those things that she listed on that platform, they are happening. You work with the mayor's office. You got it done.
Work with everybody.
So you're a force to be reckoned with. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for inviting us to come. Thank you, guys. You remember this? You remember that? Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. Because that's Ruben.
Yep.
So that's District 9, the family day that Louis Torres does at PS 55. I recognize the stage. Yeah.
So how crazy was that? We just went all the way back.
Wow.
We went all the way back.
I don't even own that dress anymore.
You can't fit that dress anymore. So let's talk about that. The last thing before you leave. So I know that health has been a big thing for you, and you have lost a tremendous amount of weight, and you are working very hard on health right now and stepping and exercise. We talked about that in your office a little bit. So what should we be doing? Because I know at health people, they say get up, step.
Yep. So a part of my work in my health and human services unit is really also for me to be an example. So what I've started doing as borough president, I ride a bike now. I'm a bike owner. I do Tour de Bronx every October, which is the largest free cycling event in the state. I started having roller skating events, rollerblade, roller skating. And yes, I get on skates and it's fun. I am not the best when it comes to running. Like, I don't even like walking, but I do it because I have to. So a part of my team at Borough Hall has something called Wellness Wednesdays, where they get together with the judges and judiciary and they walk up and down the steps for about an hour. I have recently started working out at home. I have an exercise bike and I work out. I get up like an hour earlier than I am supposed to, and I just get on the exercise bike. I do stretches because a lot of the weight I've lost, I've gained some of it back. and that's not acceptable. And I am one of those that sometimes eats late, which is very bad.
Me too.
And I acknowledge that. Like I get home at 9 o'clock and I'm eating dinner for the first time. And then sometimes I skip breakfast, and my staff always yells at me, and it's like, you can't do that, because at the end of the day, you're no good to the people of the Bronx if you're not good to yourself first. And so, you know, for me, it's like I know these things and I still do it anyway. So a lot of it is just my own discipline and making time. Like I literally have back-to-back meetings or events, and I have to make sure I have time to eat. I have to have breakfast. I have to have lunch. And yes, I have to eat healthier. A lot of times we're surrounded by processed poison, and you don't always have access to healthy food. So that's a big part of it. And, you know, the eating late is a big thing. Too much carbs and, you know, sugary products. I love juice. I don't drink soda as much as I used to, but to drink water all day, like it would kill me. I need some sugar, I do. So I need a Snapple, I need something. Fruit punch, I need something. And it's really hard, and I get it. And I like snacks. I like snacks.
I love snacks.
Which is not good. And I try too. I mean, we always have a party, a celebration, and there's a cake, there's cupcakes. It's
portion size. It's portion. So let's do this. So portion size. So I lost a lot of weight, and sometimes I gain a few pounds, and I plateau between that 200, 205. And now I'm like plateauing. So I'm happy about that. Now I'm 200, right? So I'm 5'2", and I'm 200. So health people, they teach you how to design that plate. You know, I do. I go to a lot of events, but you go to way more than me. And so we got that round plate, and half of that plate just has to be like all the healthy stuff. And then you could get a little quarter of the starch on that side. And then, so we know. She's basically saying, y'all, we know what to do, and it's hard to do it. But we do know that stress is one of the factors. Mental health, it turns into all these anxieties with all the things that we go through in society. You know, in Europe, they're doing great because in those places, housing is taken care of. Child care is taken care of. All you got to do is show up, work your night. And they walk around, take walks, and they're healthy. And they have food programs. They have a diabetes food program. They have food. They give the healthy food out. It's already prepared. It's kind of like the Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
So it's just that I feel like, and health people will show you that this is what we have to do. We just have to figure out the healthy snacks. So like they got that air popcorn. It's like, I don't know how you describe it. It's a little triangle. I don't know if you know what that is. What's the name of that snack? But anyway, find healthy snacks. Prepare your snacks before you're hungry. And just throw them somewhere, like 3, 4, 5 things. Something in the refrigerator, something beside you. So if it's late at night, we feel a little stressed out, you have your healthies.
Yeah.
Right?
Got it.
And exercise. So on the way out, Borough President, they told you we was going to do this, right? You ready?
We're going to do what?
All right. We're just going to stand up.
Stretching?
No, we're just stretching.
Oh.
We're stretching. Right here, where we stand.
Okay.
So where we stand, we're just going to stretch. Now. So the action plan, the DSMP action plan basically is stretching. Wow, you're way taller than me, even with my heels on. Okay.
You said 5'2".
Yeah, I'm so short. You was laughing about me?
No.
Oh,
I mean, my mom was like, look at the difference.
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom was like 5'3".
Oh,
I'm 5'8", and I feel like I'm short.
Yeah,
I was
you're
sitting next to
model type.
council member Yusuf Salam today, and I'm like, wow, he's really tall. I feel really short sometimes, but I realize I'm tall for a woman, and I need that. If I was shorter, I think I'd be much heavier.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the fact that I'm tall, it gives me a little bit more proportion, and I'm okay with that.
Wouldn't that be
always
great
been
at
tall.
5'8"?
Yeah, I've always been tall. I've
Okay.
always been like taller than, you know, my friends and classmates.
Okay, so here we go. I guess, do I turn this way? All right. So my action plan is dancing. So for 10 years, I've lost this little weight. You know how you say you got baby fat? My son is 19, but
Yeah.
I've been saying I had baby fat up until a couple of
long
years ago.
time. Okay.
Okay, so now my baby fat is gone. I'm moving my chair back. So what I do is, like any way I am, I just do this with like Dr. Dre. So Dr. Dre has been taking
Yeah.
steps, right?
Yep.
So I kind of do something different. I kind of do like this. I have heels on, everybody. So anything we want to do, we can do it.
Right.
And I think if you
Stretching.
just stand up, you can stretch. You can do whatever you like. So you look good stretching.
Thank
See?
you. My watch is buzzing off, so that must mean I'm moving. I
You're
have to
moving.
achieve steps.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
have.
Your
it
wa-
monitors
your-
your steps?
The watches, yeah, they monitor everything. Your blood pressure, your pulse, everything.
Okay, so I need to get one of those. Okay, so I want to say thank you so much to the Bronx Borough President for the 14th Bronx Borough President, for coming out here. Now we're gonna close out. I'm gonna do a little bit of exercise. She said she's not running, so I don't blame her.
Yeah,
but
no, unless I have to run now.
I'm gonna run in high heels.
I'll run if I need to, y'all.
I'm running in high heels because I really want people to know the action plan. And the action plan is tailored to the person that's diabetic. So if you like to clean up, clean up, pick up the garbage, clean the windows, whatever you're at, keep busy. That's your exercise, right? Exercise, okay. Look. Yeah, see, BP, go Bronx strong.
BX, exactly.
So what are the misconceptions of the borough president? I'm gonna keep, moving. What are the misconceptions
you mean about the position?
No, just about you in general, that people have misconceptions about you. Are there any?
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
That I may not know. But I always try to be very humble. Yes. I try to work with everyone, engage with everyone. Yes. I realize I'm one person. I can't solve every problem. I'm not Jesus.
Yes.
But I am a coalition builder. And as I lead, I'm still learning. I'm very humble. Yes. I appreciate the magnitude of this position and what it means for this time and reason and season. I realize the significance, the importance. I want to make change. I want to be an agent of change. I want people to be upstanders of change and not bystanders. I want to make sure the Bronx is better. And while I realize we have a lot of systemic issues like healthcare inequities, public safety, it's going to take years to fix that system, right? To deal with racism, to deal with discrimination. But we can't stop trying. And so my message is that we all have a role to play. We all have a responsibility. I often say you don't need a title in front of your name to make a difference.
Yes.
You can adopt your block, your park. You can work with your neighbor. You can form a civic group, a block association, a tenant association. You can galvanize. And that's usually what women do.
Yes.
Most of my tenants associations are led by women of color because no one has stepped up, and it's going to be a Black or Latina woman that will say, you know what, I got it, let me do it. And then we bring people in. That's just what we do. We've been nurtured and groomed that way. But it doesn't mean that we should do it alone. Everyone has to believe in this work. Government is not going to save us. If anyone saves us, it's us.
I'm sorry,
Government is not going to save us. No level of government.
Thank you for repeating that.
All we will do is give you safety net programs to lift you up so that you can go from one stage to the next. Right? So you can go from being a tenant to a homeowner. You can go from 30% AMI to 40 and 50, upward mobility. But at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourselves, right? And what we are trying to do is make it better, to give you more information, more tools in your toolbox so that you can make better informed decisions about you and your children, your loved ones, and your family. If you know better, you do better. And I believe in the Bronx. I believe in what this borough stands for because we have been knocked down many times and we always get back up. We are resilient. We are tough. We are fighters. We proudly represent the boogie down. There's no place like us, from hip hop to salsa to everything that we represent, the greenest borough. We need to make sure we're talking about that because we are sick of all the negativity. Every time you turn around, it's something negative, a shooting, a stabbing, a building, a fire, a collapse. And yes, media has to report that, but then they also need to report the good things we're doing. The young man of color in our community that's going to HBCU, the young man that interned for me, second generation Dominican student from Highbridge that went to Yale University, or the Black sister that I met that now goes to Brown University. I want those stories to be told of how you can come from the bottom, started from the bottom, and now we're here, right? How we can take our pain and turn it into purpose and turn our storm into strength. The power of us as people. That's what Black History Month is about. That's what this work is about. So I am so grateful. I say happy Black History Month, happy Dominican Heritage Month to all of my brothers and sisters. Let us continue to fulfill our desires. Let us be about this work. Let us show the world what the Bronx can do. Let us stay ready so we don't have to get ready, right? Let us make sure we are strategic and thoughtful and intentional about driving the transformative change that every resident of our borough rightfully deserves.
Yes, and I know who I'm voting for. I'm so sorry. So if you don't know who you're voting for, tell them when they can catch you next. Believe on the 20th, right?
Oh, I'm doing a ton of stuff. Oh, goodness. What am I doing? Oh, actually, no. Well, it depends because I'm trying to think. Thursday, February the 13th, we're having a fashion show at Borough Hall from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We are also doing an event on Tuesday the 19th. We have an event around Savor the Bronx. Tuesday the 18th, I think. And we are focusing on Black History Month. We have an event on the 26th on Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Eastwood Manor. We have Dominican Heritage, which is Thursday, I believe, February the 20th, and that's at 6 o'clock, and that's at Beverly Hills Manor, celebrating Dominican Heritage. Save the day for our State of the Borough 2025, which we say the Bronx will strive and thrive in 2025. That's Thursday, March 20th. At 6 p.m. at Lehman College. It's Save the Date. We'll get all the information out. We're working on Women's History. We're working on Irish Heritage Month, which are both in March. So stay tuned for that. Most importantly, follow us on social media. Follow us on my private handle, my official handle, Bronx BP Gibson, our website as well. You have a lot of information, social media. Sign up to get our emails. We send them out on Tuesday. We do a lot. We're always all over the borough. We do press. We do public access. We do BronxNet. We have a show on News 12. We do PIX. We do op-eds. We have a lot coming up. A lot is in store because this is a very exciting year for us. It's year 4 in which we are going back to the voters and we're going to talk about the work we're doing, our blueprint, so that we can continue for the next 4-year term. But we are so dedicated to this work. We are a part of the club called Team No Sleep. You know about that club?
Yeah, Team No Sleep is
many
right.
of you are a part of it too. Team No Sleep. We don't sleep because there's always something to do. But even in doing that, we do have to take care of ourselves. And there are many times when I don't always feel my best, but I have to be my best for the borough. I have to be my best for the staff. And so I just want everyone to know that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be at 100. It's okay to say, you know what, I need a day. I need a day for myself. I need a mental health day, right? Because we have to recognize trauma. It is traumatizing living in this world now with 47 in the White House. It is traumatic because every day it's just something else, some other attack, some other, measure that he's trying to do to disrupt our normalcy. And so I just want to acknowledge everyone's pain. I want to acknowledge your trauma. I want to say it's okay. We are going to be okay, right? And the rap song, we gonna be all right. Right? We gonna be all right, y'all. We are. We have an amazing Attorney General in Tish James, and she is suing like crazy. Sue. And we are stopping a lot of these executive orders in litigation, and we're joining with other Attorney Generals because we cannot have the elimination of the U.S. Department of Education. We cannot have federal programs cut.
Social Security.
Grants, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all of our education programs. My nephew's in college now, and he's on a Pell Grant. He gets, work study and all these federal programs. So that is not acceptable, and I get it. I understand this president is doing exactly what he said he would do. Folks, when people show you who they are, believe them, right? And so I understand. We can't be surprised. That doesn't mean that we won't react, but we can't be surprised at anything he's done.
Well, I feel confident. I just want to say this. Yes, people are in pain. People are losing their jobs.
Yes, their homes.
And so we're going to need each other. I just want to piggyback on that. We're going to need each other more than ever. And as the borough president stated earlier, we have to get together. It may take you, and you come together, and we do some community work. Food insecurity should never happen. We have enough things out here to meet food insecurities. Restaurants throw away all their food at the end of the night. We watch them. So it's a lot that we can do as a whole. So let's work together. Let's get it done. And I definitely want to partner up with you.
Thank you.
And anything that we can do in this community.
Okay,
I want to follow you out.
Okay.
Can I follow you out?
Yes.
I'm going to follow her out a couple of events. And can I follow out?
Sure.
Where you go?
Yeah, we have plenty of events coming up. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm be tired. Wait. Let me take my shoes off. I'm going to have to take my shoes
very
off.
Tiring, very tiring.
I don't know if I can handle you for one whole day or a week. I can't do a week. Maybe one day. Maybe because how many events do you think you do in one day? 2,
in
3,
a day?
4?
It depends on the day, but anywhere from maybe 3, 4. Sometimes that's on a lighter end, but then on the busier end, it could be 5 through 6. Thursdays are very, very busy days. The weekends have lightened up a lot because it's not the summertime and it's cold outside. So I do have churches. I go to church on Sunday. That's a very big deal for me. My faith is my foundation.
Yes, most definitely.
I want to adopt what some pastors do. They have a day of solitude where you don't call them. They turn their phone off. I'm not there yet because my phone is still on. But because I just always have to be there, God forbid there's an emergency. Usually when we have fires, they're in the early morning hours. So I get a call at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I got a call this morning at 7 a.m. about a fire. So it happens, and I just always want to be on call. While my mom was sick, I slept near the phone because I never wanted to miss the call from the doctor to tell me that she may have passed away. And then ultimately, when she did pass away, my phone was on vibrate.
Oh, Lord.
And I didn't know, and I called them, and I saw all these missed calls, and I said, what happened? And they said, you got to get to the nursing home. And I said, wow. And I knew at that point that she had passed.
That's hard to hear.
Yep.
And I just love you, and I love the
Thank
way
you,
that
thank
you
you, thank
work and your
you.
work ethics. When do you get a day off? That's the last thing I want to ask.
I know. I try. I take my birthday off.
Oh, nice.
I do take the holidays off. I do Christmas and Thanksgiving. I do take those days off. I prepare for it, but then the actual day I take off because you have to take time. You really, really do. My weekends, I try to keep to myself. Fridays and Saturday nights are important. If I work Friday, I don't want to work Friday night. If I work Saturday, I don't want to work Saturday night. But then there are sometimes I do. There's a lot of galas, birthday celebrations. People forget we have personal lives. So I have friends, right? And I also want to support them. I had a good friend last night in the village of Harlem. She launched her book, and I was there for her, and that was personal. And I was there not in my capacity as borough president, but in my capacity as her friend. And so that happens quite a bit. I love to celebrate birthdays. My birthday is coming up. So, it's good to enjoy because guess what? We don't get this time back. And if there's one thing I've learned, losing my dad and losing my mom, losing my aunt, my uncle, all the losses in my family, is that we never get time back. And so you have to reach out and say, how are you? How you doing? It's okay. Reach out to a loved one you haven't talked to in a while because you never know. The time you may talk to them, it will be in the gates of heaven.
Yes. So we have a gift for you. You're right. And we have a gift for you. And I think that this sentiment, I went to visit Hollywood, and Hollywood said, oh, I want my flowers now. He wasn't talking about flowers.
Yes.
So silly me went out and bought a plant. Silly me went out and bought him a plant. Because I just felt like that plant, you don't have to water that plant, but like once a month, because I kill plants. Once a month, it might pick somebody up. But go out, get a flower. It's still important. Get a flower, do something good. But we bought you something.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Love is in the air.
We love you. I don't have one. Isaiah's mine.
Okay.
That's good, right?
That's beautiful. Yes, that's good.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
All right, if you don't have a Valentine, if you get your kids every year and your kids are your Valentine, that's okay too.
That's okay.
But if you do have a Valentine, great. And this is a day that people get a little bit depressed. Can we just doing Happy Valentine's Day? And I love you guys out there. Thank you for supporting me in every endeavor that I take. And once again, we want to thank the Bronx. If you haven't thought about who you're voting for, you might want to think about it. Because if you listen to the platform and you listen to her, you'll know that she's done some amazing things, and she's so not done yet. And she's so not done yet. So lock your dials, everybody. Crossover TV, yours truly, Kendra, the Bronx Borough President, everybody. Vanessa L. Gibson.
Happy Love Day.
We talk Vanessa.
A moment to express again my deepest gratitude for the leadership at the office of the Bronx Borough President for providing this platform for us to be together. Your commitment to diversity and inclusion is admirable, and I want to give the floor to our Bronx Borough President, Vanessa.
Our Muslim sisters. This is a beautiful, beautiful event. There's so many beautiful women out here, and to see us all standing together, we are the change. We are moving forward with intentional footsteps, leading of support. Support. That's what all of this is about.
Yo, with drill. We want to say a big shout out and happy 22nd anniversary to Crossover TV with Kendra.
Yes, sir.
Father God, once again, we thank you for giving us love, for giving us life, and for giving us Kendra. For 22 years, we've come and try to do the things that you need us to do. Shine your love across the world. Right now, at least across our borough, we are intentionally, on purpose, trying to serve you, God. And we just want to thank you for serving us with the knowledge and the understanding of what it could be. Happy anniversary to Kendra. 22 years. Nothing but service.
Amen. Crossover TV here, yours truly, Kendra. You and me.